Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is part 3 of how to move and stop a manual car. In part 1, we talked about the best foot placement and we also talked about how to find the biting point. In part 2, we talked about how to move off using the handbrake method and also how to move off without using the handbrake. So if you haven't watched those videos, I'll suggest that you go and check them out first. In this video, we're going to talk about how to stop a manual car correctly. And as I mentioned in the last video, this is one of those things that a lot of people teach wrong. So it's important that you learn the correct technique to avoid developing bad habits. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Chris. I'm a driving instructor. I've been a driving instructor for the last 10 years. And on this channel, we talk about everything about driving a manual transmission. If you are new here, you can consider subscribing so that you don't miss out on future driving related videos. To stop a manual car, you will need to use the brakes. The brakes stop the wheels and hence the car. But just before you come to a complete stop, you also need to press the clutch. Here's what happens if you don't press the clutch. You brake, then oops, the car stops, but the engine stalls. This happens because the brakes stop the wheels only, but when the wheels stop suddenly, that force transfers to the engine and force it to stop as well. So to stop smoothly, we need to disconnect the engine from the wheels while braking, and we do that by pressing the clutch. Here's how to stop a manual car. Press the brake to bring the speed down. About 2 seconds before stopping, push the clutch in. Keep braking until the car comes to a complete stop. Now, pressing the clutch too early, as some people do, is not a good habit. This is called riding the clutch or clutch coasting. So, for example, what a lot of people do when they are coming up to a stop sign is press the clutch first and then start braking. That's called clutch coasting and it's not safe. The problem with pressing the clutch too early when coming up to stop signs is that you are not really in control of the car. You lose something called engine braking, which means that the brakes are doing all the works to stop the car. This has consequences. First, the car takes longer to stop if you need to stop quickly. Second, the brakes heat up faster, especially if you are coasting down the hill for quite a long time. And if you do this all the time, this can wear out your brakes. And finally, when you clutch in too early, you don't have that stable, controlled feel. So the car basically is just freewheeling. It's just basically gliding with no engine. On a driving test, this is marked as coasting, and if it happens, it will cost you marks on your driving test. So sometimes it will be a minor mistake depending on how long you are riding the clutch, and sometimes it can even make you fail the driving test. So the safer way is to brake first, then press the clutch just before the car stalls. Usually about 2 seconds before stopping. That way you stay in control right to the very end. Now let's go through a few examples of how to stop a manual car properly and also move off again from a stopped position at different intersections. Let's practice stopping at an intersection. Here I'm approaching a stop. First, I ease off the accelerator, then brake gently. Just before stopping, I press the clutch down and continue braking until the car fully stops. Now, to move off again, I press the accelerator, then find the biting point. Hold it steady, count 1, 2, 3, and then gently release the clutch while continuing to accelerate. Once the clutch is fully up, I put the left foot on the footrest. Here's another intersection coming up. I approach and I'm going to change to first gear just for the sake of this lesson. I brake and brake and brake until the car stops. But oops, what did I forget to do? I didn't press the clutch, so the engine stalled. So remember, just before coming to a stop, push the clutch all the way in to stop the engine from stalling. This time around, I'm stopped at a slip lane and I'm waiting for a safe gap. I'm in first gear, so once I find a safe gap, I need to accelerate and immediately find the biting point. There is a safe gap, so accelerate, biting point, hold 1, 2, 3, and then gently release the clutch. Here's a roundabout coming up and I need to stop and give way. Brake, brake, and brake. 2 seconds before stopping, I push the clutch in to stop the engine from stalling. I look for a safe gap, and once I find a safe gap, I accelerate and get the biting point and then hold the bite. 1, 2, 3, and then slowly release the clutch. So that's it for this video, and I hope you learned something from it. So just remember, if you're coming to a stop sign or traffic lights, you want to make sure that you brake, and then about 2 seconds before stopping, make sure that you clutch in. Now there is more to this, because in some cases you also need to downshift, which is a video for another day. So in the future we'll talk about how to downshift, which means go down gears when coming to stop signs and also traffic lights. There's gonna be part 4 of how to move and stop a manual car correctly, and in part 4 we're gonna talk about the common mistakes to avoid when you are learning to move and stop a manual car. So if you enjoyed watching the video, make sure that you give the video a like, and if you know someone who is learning how to drive a manual transmission and they can benefit from this video, make sure that you share the video with them, and also subscribe for more manual driving related videos. Thanks for watching.